들어갑니다. 정동현입니다. 정동현이 역전을 만듭니다. 2점의 장면을.
Winners of the AFC Champions League 2020, Ulsan Hyundai.
You're listening to the K-League United podcast, proud partner of Football Nation Radio.
Hello, I'm Ashley McCann. Welcome to pre-season with K-League United. I am Paul Neat, and from the end of the road to Gimje, it's Peter Hampshire.
Hello, mate. How are we doing?
Not too bad. How is pre-season treating you so far?
Yeah, good. I've had a nice little break from work, looking at all those K-League fixtures that came out, planning my little journeys, hopefully, if we're allowed to travel around this season.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, at the time of recording, I think daily caseload is in the sort of 300 range. I don't know. It's a bit confusing these days because I don't think the social distancing measures aren't really linked to the number of cases. They're just sort of waiting until after the Lunar New Year. So I don't know. We're at 2.5 now, which is the fourth highest on a 5-tier system, I think.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And if we were to enter the season at level 2.5, we would have no fans in stadiums. If we can even just get down to level 2, then we can have 10%. But level 2.5, for those who are outside of Korea, is just for the Seoul capital area. Areas around the country are at level 2. So I would imagine we will have some fans in.
Yeah, if you fancy coming down to Gimje to watch the K7 game, then we can have 10% attendance there.
You know what? I keep meaning to check this out, but I'm pretty sure there's a team in K7 called Chimek FC. So for those who don't speak Korean, Chicken and Beer Football Club. My dreams and aspirations are to just buy that shirt, maybe even try and get a game. How good would that be?
Yeah, that's the dream.
All right. So as it is pre-season, we've been doing some of these shorter podcast pre-season episodes. We've talked about pre-season friendlies. We've talked about transfers, what worked and what didn't from last year, the new rules for 2021. All these episodes are available on Patreon in video form if you are a $5 tier subscriber, or in audio form via kleagueunited.com or wherever you get your podcasts. But it's time to talk about another topic which is key to the build-up to a new season, pre-season training. Any experience of pre-season, Pete?
Yeah, so my uni team, and when I say that, I don't mean like the actual university, I just mean the German department of drunken lads. We took it on ourselves to have a little trip to Portugal, which coincided nicely with pre-season, and actually booked out an 11-a-side pitch and played about 4 times in that week. We thought we were nicely prepared, and then it had absolutely zero effect on the pitch. When the season started, we still finished 11th out of 12 teams. And then just the other week, I went to Namhae, which is a little island off the south coast of Korea. And we went past Namhae Sports Park, where John Book are training this winter. I tried to convince my girlfriend to have a little look through the gate, but we had a nice day out instead.
Pre-season training, I've only ever had a little bit of experience, for the amateur teams that I've played in Korea. Going back a few years now, extremely tough. We're doing diagonal sprints across the pitch, and I was going to be sick at one point. It was just awful, but it was all in the build-up to the Ulsan Cup. So some people who are listening in Korea might have heard of this. It's one of the tournaments for expat teams in Korea down in Ulsan, and
I've never been involved with any of the actual playing side of football here. How competitive is it?
In the Seoul capital area, there's a Saturday league and a Sunday league. The Sunday league is supposed to be a slightly higher standard. Incheon Luke, he plays for a Sunday team in the first division as a goalkeeper. I played in the Saturday league in the second division for Ints, who they have our logo on their kits. I played for them for a few seasons, and it's a good start. It's a decent standard, yeah. There's a huge gap between the second division and the first division. We got promoted in 2016, finished second, and came back down immediately. It was just the golfing class was just unbelievable. It's like going from K4 to K1. It was unbelievable. And interesting that you brought up that you went to almost like a pre-season, a training camp that you said there. Now, I thought I would do some research and have a look back to last season or before last season to see where some of the teams went before the COVID-19 travel restrictions and everything, of course, and see if there's any kind of correlation between the fancier quote unquote, the destination and their league position in the table. But, well, there isn't one. That's because most teams, 13 of them, in fact, went to Thailand, but some went to Europe. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw some of them at you now and see if you can guess which teams went where. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Which team went to Portugal and Japan? This was one of only 2 teams last year to go to 2 different foreign countries.
Maybe with the Portugal link, I'm going to go for John Book because of Jose Marais.
I thought you might say that. It's not. It's actually FC Seoul. Seoul went to Portugal and then Japan. All right. Next, how about Spain?
Spain? Who could that have been? There was that team that had the memorandum of understanding with the La Liga. So I'll go for Asan. Was it Chungnam Asan? That's a fair trip for a K League 2 side, but I'm going to plug for them.
It wasn't. It was John Book. One team went to Turkey. Who do you think that was?
All those teams you said went to Thailand. There can't be many left. I'll go for my secret favourite team, Pohang Steelers.
It wasn't actually. It was Ansan Greeners went to Turkey. There was most teams went to Thailand. 2 went to China. 2 to Vietnam. 2 to Spain. And 1 to Portugal, Turkey, and Japan. But then only 1 team stayed in Korea the whole time. Now, this might have some kind of indication as to how poorly they performed. Who do you think that was?
I'll go for Busanai Park.
It wasn't. It was Asan.
Oh, right. Okay.
So they stayed in Korea for the whole time. I'm not sure whether they just didn't have the funds or what, or whether they just didn't see the...
Does this include Sangju Sangmu? Did they go abroad?
I got the list here. Sangju went to China. Obviously, this year they can't do that. They can't go anywhere. In fact, most teams have just gone down to the south coast. Like you saw John Book there last week. Lots of teams gone to Jeju Island as well. And it's going to, I don't know, I think it'll probably have some kind of impact on the season because they can't really prepare for the hot summer months because they can't go and do the warm weather training. Yeah,
but I guess most players will be used to it because, I mean, it's publicised how Korea has the 4 seasons. So if they've been playing in K-League a while, then they should be used to that.
That's true.
How the season develops here, where it's so cold at the start and the end, and then the kickoff times are all over the place. So they have a chance in the summer just to play in a semi-cool environment because it does get incredible. I don't think people realise how humid it gets here.
Oh, yeah. And 3 p.m. in the middle of August is just, you're talking like 35 degrees Celsius, 85% humidity at the very least. It's really, really, really hot. So although the 7 p.m. start times in the summer is a bit irritating, especially on a Sunday, they are there for a reason.
Say you were going to take the reins at Dejan and a Citizen. Where would you take them?
I think if we were living in a non-COVID world, the warm weather training I do think is needed, and it's probably good for a bit of morale as well and get the lads away for a week or 2. So I'll be going somewhere quite humid to help with that. I'd avoid going to Europe, though. I don't think it's worth going all the way to Europe. Expensive, and then there's like jet lag issues like that. It'll take a few days. You're going to waste a few days just with people trying to get acclimatized to the time difference and whatnot. I think I'll probably go to Southeast Asia, Thailand, probably, before coming home and playing one last friendly game at our home stadium. I'd actually encourage a place to go out and have a few beers. I think if they didn't, I'd be very disappointed.
Yeah,
teams who drink together win together.
Yeah, definitely agree with that.
I think actually it was Roy Keane when he was at Sunderland. They went on a pre-season trip somewhere, and he told them, if any of you lads get into any mischief, I'll be very angry. But it was like a test, so all the lads were very well behaved, and he was fuming. It's like, none of you got arrested. Feel soft.
yeah. Listening to some of the stories of pre-season, especially in England, if you don't even listen to like Under the Cosh podcast and things like that, the best parts of those podcasts are the pre-season stories.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and it usually involves alcohol.
We're just going to go for a walk, Gaffer.
Yeah. When they say, "Oh, curfew is 12 o'clock." All right, then see you at 2 a.m.
Would you be the kind of person who would go out, like sneak out and stuff?
I did on my teacher orientation in Korea.
Did you?
Yeah, it's kind of a semi-rule, I think. The pre-season curfew, and I wouldn't call myself a flair player either. So it's not like I've got that talent where he's going to put me in. He's thinking, "Oh, this toiler, this grafter is only interested in the beers, so put him on the bench."
He's not Paul Gascoigne. He can't back it up on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
So what would you do then? If you were a manager?
I don't think I'd go abroad. I think I'd stay within Korea. I do agree about the drinking aspect, but I would aim for a no technology, send them into the woods, make them build a raft and cross a river. No footballs in sight. Go for that team bonding aspect. Like a couple of Premier League clubs have actually done recently. I think it was Brighton and Graham Potter, where they sent them to Scandinavia, and the players were thinking, we're 3 weeks in and we haven't seen a football yet. That's the kind of thing I'd go for. And then a week of recovery, back to the football pitch, play a couple of uni teams, and then onto a big home friendly, like you said, to get for the fans, perhaps a team from abroad to get some revenue and build some excitement for the season. I think that's what I'd go for.
Yeah, sounds good. It sounds absolutely awful for the players, but to get an insight into just how tough it is, here's what Dejan thinks.
Yeah, and now obviously you're in Hong Kong. You're just starting your pre-season preparations. What was pre-season like in general in the K-League, and did you notice any changes from when you arrived at Incheon in 2007 and then right through to Daegu in 2020?
Pre-seasons, they're always really strong in Korea, I must say. Even in Incheon 2007, I remember when I signed for Incheon, we ran a lot. Facilities and places where we training in pre-season were perfect, but a lot of runnings, a lot of physicality, a lot of gym. So there like I said, many times they asked me about this. So I said, guys, I changed myself a lot. I was really lazy. I didn't like to do gym. I was always good with the ball. I was always like technician. I'm using my foot always to get what I want. Here, it's impossible. Sorry, there now. In Korea, it's impossible to play the foot. You need to be physically ready. You need to run a lot. So pre-season generally was always tough. Normally, there were some seasons in FC Seoul when team was perfect, so you didn't need to kill us too much. Just prepare us lightly, and then during the season we're gonna improve our physical, and we're gonna be in shape in a couple of games. But this was maybe 1 or 2 seasons. Everything else was really tough. Even in Daegu last year, 2 months pre-season, then they delayed because of Corona, so 2 months more. We did like pre-season, because we didn't know when we're going to start. Man, it was tough. It was really tough. So Korea, I must say, when you want to play in Korea, first you need to survive pre-season. You need to change your mind. You need to focus on yourself, on your body, because it's impossible differently to follow the rhythm of K-League and Korean football.
And you mentioned FC Seoul there. I'm just thinking, which manager worked you the hardest in pre-season? Was it Chae Young-soo?
No, honestly, no. When Seonyul Gunesh, when I signed for FC Seoul 2008 pre-season, brother, we ran a lot. And 2008, 2009, I cannot say anything bad for 2009, because the first part he killed us, but second part we went to Antalya in Turkey. So there was perfect life, unbelievable food, the pitches. You play a game every day. If you want to play every day, you can play game. There are like 50, 60 teams in the preseason there. So I enjoyed there. But first part was unbelievably hard. We ran a lot. And if I remember well, 2017 with Hwang, what I can say about him. We ran day and night. Like we never played football. We were like championship team, top team. 2017, he bring us to Guam to do pre-season. Guam, like 30 degrees, weather unbelievable. And he give us to run every day.
So normally in pre-season, is it something that you look forward to? Like, the season's going to start soon. You see your teammates again. Or is it like, oh no, pre-season's coming soon?
Nobody like pre-season, to be clear about it. But
yeah.
Now I'm saying now in my case, I'm now 40. This year I will be 40. I was missing trainings. I know it's going to be hard. But I know, what is that? That's like 10 or 15 days hard, really hard. So you're going to do massage, but then after that, you're going to enjoy all season. So until I'm feeling like this, I will play football. If I start feeling like that, like, oh man, pre-season, I will quit football, man. Then it means I'm getting lazy. I'm just not feeling any more passion for football. And I think everybody is thinking same like me, more or less, when they are younger, for sure. it's hard, but everybody wants to training. Everybody just want to start training, and after 1 week or 2 weeks, it's done. You're gonna finish running. You're gonna have this, tight muscles. Everything you feel really heavy. After that, when ball comes and games, you're gonna be happy. And every year is like this. Not every year. Every 6 months. In Europe is every 6 months. In Korea is once a year. But I can say summertime in Korea is like preseason. You play 8 games in 1 month, so you get really tired. I think everybody complain, but they are enjoying.
Yeah.
Player mind. Everybody's complaining when they know in the morning 9 o'clock you need to go out and run, but everybody happy to do that, and nobody avoiding trainings. They are going there. They're like, why? But everybody's running.
I suppose if you go somewhere as well, it kind of helps with the team atmosphere, team building. Especially if there's some new signings and you all go to a pre-season, a training camp somewhere, it must help. Yeah,
sure, man. That helps a lot. Team building. Get know the new player. They need to. Generally that's period not only for training, generally for improving the atmosphere in the team, to see how team handles hard training, hard situation. Always some stupid things happen on preseason. Somebody did some crazy things, get crazy after 2 weeks. So you know how team react on this, and to see how captain control the team. In Korea is very important. The captain, vice captain, how they are controlling the squad. So generally, preseason is when you look on the side is really good thing. It's very important if you want to do something in football generally. So it's okay.
Last thing about preseason. In the pre-seasons that you've had in your career, have you ever been given time like a night out? You can say, okay, boys, go out, enjoy yourselves, have a few drinks. Anything like that?
Brother, you cannot get that.
No?
But like I said, I had a really good relationship with Chang Soo. So he was one of the coaches who knows how to treat, he was feeling the squad really good. He knows I will give them a little bit. For example, today we had like it's Saturday. So Friday 2 times kill us. Saturday game, morning game or afternoon game, no problem. And no, morning game. And then he said afternoon, after lunch, guys, afternoon, no training. You are free, go beach, swimming tomorrow, all days free. He told us this because he knows Saturday night we're going to try to go out a little bit. Too much you're in pre-season, but just to go after 11. To be
yeah.
So he knows that because he's saying like, okay, Sunday you are free, breakfast free. He's giving us everything that Saturday night, if we want to stay until 2 a.m., no problem. Okay, you cannot go drink and collapse or make some problem. That's impossible. But you can stay in a room together with teammates, having a couple of beers or watching games. In the morning you don't need to wake up. So he was feeling the squad. He knows I'm gonna kill them 5 days, training hard. But I know if I give them this 1 or 2 days, after Monday is gonna be everything okay. Nobody complaining. Again, we are doing, and we know that. So he said like, okay, Saturday you are free, Sunday morning free, go beach. So we all day enjoy. And then Monday when you are coming back, I know he's going to kill me Monday morning. No exception. But nobody's complaining, brate.
So it builds a bit of trust, doesn't it? And a bit of responsibility.
We're going to use this to have a really nice time, 1 day and a half. But after that, Monday, we're going to come like full focused on the game. And in the end, with him, results were really good. And our squad was really good, and everybody was happy. From first to last player, everybody was happy, no complaining. And the end, you see results, champions, good results, good transfers. Everything was perfect. So, very important thing, even in preseason, that to control the squad.
Fans, we want to hear from you. You're encouraged to email KLU at info@kleagueunited.com or tweet at @kleagueunited with any questions, comments or reactions. Or follow us on Facebook to ask directly during one of our live shows.
All right, welcome back to the KLU United podcast. Paul Neat here with Peter Hampshire, and that was Dejan Damjanović, who for probably just the 3rd time since around 2008 will not be taking part in a K-League pre-season. The full interview will be available soon, so do stay tuned for that.
Yeah, it was great to speak to Dejan, wasn't it? He was on top form as usual.
As always, yeah, can't get a word in edgeways. Legend.
One thing that fills that gap and the anticipation coming into a new season is fixture release day. I know back home I'm always looking for Barnsley against Sheffield Wednesday, but in Korea we got our hands on the 2021 edition in late January. It's got a bit of a concertina look to it this year with the ACL in the middle and that 6-week break in the K1 at least. But yeah, we finally got our hands on those fixtures.
It is the best time of the year, almost. I think the squad number release day is also one of my favourites because I'm a bit of a squad numbers geek. But yeah, one of the best times of the year is fixture release day. And what's the first fixture that you look for?
Obviously, logistically for me, I think everyone knows by now that I live in Gimje. So the Jeonbuk and the Gwangju games are just... It only takes me an hour to get to those grounds. But apart from that, it's Pohang against Ulsan. I love a derby day. I know we're doing a piece on derby days this month on K-League United. And the Steel Yard is just fantastic stadium for a weekend down there. Real traditional feel to it, close to the pitch, steep stands, in the middle of town as well. You can walk to the ground from the bus station along the river. And I went there last season. There was no fans, unfortunately, just in the media zone for the Pohang Nil Ulsan 4. And you could really feel it, the vitriol between the two sides, even the coaching staff. Yeah, so I look for that one. How about you?
Well, I always look for who Dejan have got first. We're away again this year. Then I look for the super matches to see if they're on a Saturday or not. That's the first thing I look for. And to be honest, there's 3, obviously, until the split happens. And I think the first and third are on Sundays. Stop putting super matches on Sundays. I know it's a bit different in the times of Corona because, you can't really go to the stadiums and have a drink. But I just think, I did some research last year. And for 2019, the attendances were much higher for Saturday, for just across the board. And I know that they like to have all games on TV, make sure there's no overlap, but I don't know, I just don't like Sunday games. There are a lot of Sunday games. And so yeah, I always look for that one. But I think because Dejan don't really have a rival, there's no derby, certainly not in K-League 2. I don't really have any specific fixture that I look for. I just look who we got first, or if we're away first game, who's our first home game, and then who we got on the last day, and if we're at home or not. We're away first game and away last game, so a bit annoying about that. But
yeah, similarly to back home, actually, I usually look for Boxing Day fixture, and then in Korea, you look for the Chuseok fixtures for that. That long 5-day weekend.
But weren't you a Busan fan when you first came to Korea?
Yeah, so I first moved here in 2014, and that was in Busan for a year. Obviously, I looked at the top table and I saw Busan I Park. I thought this will suit me down to the ground. And then so my first game was Busan I Park 1-1 with Jeonbuk. I thought, here we go, they're competing with the teams at the top. But it took me almost 2 hours to get to the Asia World Cup Stadium because I just lived on the other side of town and I had to get 2 subways. Yeah, so it would have been easier to go to a Daegu home game. It was ridiculous. So in the end, I plumped for Busan Transportation Corporation because they had in the K3. Yeah, they had a group of about 20 foreign fans who went every week and basically just got on the beers, and it was free entry. You got to go on the players' bus for coming home from away games, so you really felt close to it.
Nice.
Yeah, obviously it's a fair trek from where I am now to Busan. It's about 4 hours, so kind of semi-switched my allegiance to Gwangju, but I don't know. I find it difficult to really get behind anyone apart from Barnsley, to be honest.
Really? I see. I'm kind of the opposite now. Because I find it difficult to keep up with North End because the times of the games, obviously, the time difference on a Saturday, it's usually 11 p.m. or midnight. And obviously, iFollow is awful. Like if anybody who's listening who follows a football league club and they know what iFollow is, then they'll probably know how awful it has been this past sort of year and a half. And it's got to the point now where I have to seek other means of watching a live stream and not the service that I've paid for. So I've kind of given up. Sometimes I just think I can't be bothered to try and sit there and wait for the stream to load. So I watch most of my sort of energy goes into supporting Dejan. I can't go to that many games anymore because I live in Seoul, but I feel more connected to Dejan, even though I don't live there anymore. And things about North End, I don't really know much about some of the players. I don't like going back 10 years. I would be able to talk about players from other teams. I would know a lot about our players, but now, like we've just signed a few players and people are very pleased about it. It seems I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Like, who are these players? Like, oh, he's Whiteman. I think we've just signed
Ben
from
Whiteman.
Doncaster.
Yeah.
Right, we've just signed him from Doncaster. I've never heard of him before.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I know
we
it's
talk
not to do
about
with
Andy
K-League,
Young's-
but apparently he's a top midfielder. He could slot nicely into Guangzhou's midfield.
Exactly, yeah. But I could probably tell you who was Anyang's third choice right back 2 years ago, you know? So, yeah. That's just the
It's
way it is, I
interesting you
suppose.
say about the iFollow thing, because some of the Busan Transport Corporation fans during last season, they got together to watch a stream of their games, and there was fans watching from Turkey, England, all around the world to watch a K3 side on a big Zoom call. It was
Excellent.
fantastic. Yeah.
I've only been to a couple of K3 games, but it was years ago when it was K3 Advanced and K3 Basic back in those days, and it was Ijongbu versus Seoul United, and it was free entry. I wandered in, didn't know what was going on. Wow, I was allowed to walk in for free, and there was somebody sat in front of me, a middle-aged lady, and she offered me some iced coffee, which was very nice of her. But then she just got up and walked down to the pitch and gave her son his flip-flops. He was a sub. That's just what's going on. What's going on here?
Yeah, in the Busan Transport, they used to choose one of the foreign fans each week to do the halftime draw.
Oh, brilliant.
But we were basically, it was about an attendance of 40 and we made up half of it. So most weeks we were pulling out our friends' names from the hat and it just looked really dodgy.
And what kind of things did you win?
What did we win? A signed ball and actually, you used to win an open top bus tour around Busan. It was quite decent because you could use that if your family came to visit. You were like, yeah, I've bought this. I didn't just win it in a non-league game.
Living the dream. So, yeah, I mean, when fixtures are released in Korea, it seems that it's done without any sort of fanfare, minimal fuss, but I don't want to compare to the UK all the time, but there's a bit of a build-up. We know what day they're going to be released, and there's excitement, and it helps you get in the mood for the new season. Whereas here, and then sometimes they get leaked as well. Sometimes, like last year and the year before, even before the official social media channels of the K-League had released the fixtures, they're already out, and people are already talking about them. And it's just like, I want a countdown, get things built up. I really wish that they would do that.
Yeah, everyone back home is watching Sky Sports News to see who the first weekend is going to be. And then obviously you're refreshing your Twitter feed if you support a football league club, seeing who you've got. And it seemed, even this year, it seemed like it took the clubs by surprise a bit, because I noticed on Instagram, they all released their graphics like hours apart from each other.
Yeah.
Even sides like Jeonbuk released theirs 7 hours after Pohang and things like that. So why do you think it is that they don't want to build up that?
I don't know. And actually, I think, they say it's because the stadiums are not owned by the clubs, right? Obviously, they're owned by local city governments and whatnot. So it takes a bit of time to check the schedules for the whole year, see if the stadium's being used for something else, that kind of thing. And I think it just takes a bit of time. So I don't think they can give a specific day. And it's just as and when they can confirm with everybody that the stadiums are available. So if you just sort of say, okay, by January the 30th, and then if it comes out, if you have them ready before that, it doesn't matter. You can just wait.
Wanting to see those Guangzhou fixtures, I was having to look at other sides' fixtures and pick out when they were playing Guangzhou rather than just looking at a normal list of Guangzhou games.
Yeah. If you were in charge of the fixtures or involved in the process, how much would you just do it randomly, so that the way the fixtures are made, it's all just random, done by a computer? Or would you try and do what's happened in the past few years, where you have a super match on the same weekend as an East Coast derby? Do you try and manufacture them? Would you try and do that kind of thing?
I know that Ryan Walters, Ryan is a kind of a fan of doing that and building up these big marketable weekends. But for me, I'd rather just have it random and computerized. Obviously, it wouldn't be great if a super match was on a Sunday night at 8 p.m. But I think that's part of the intrigue of who you're going to get and when you're going to play them, rather than thinking, oh, there's going to be some big games on a national holiday weekend, for example. How about you?
Yeah, I think I'd like it to be a bit more organic. Just by chance, we do get a super match on the same weekend as an East Coast derby, for example, or a Line 4 derby. If you're a K-League 2 fan, then that's good. But I'd rather have it be a bit more random. Obviously, you're going to have to sort of tweak things here and there as and when you need to. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the idea of like a script. You're scripting a wrestling event or something, like you got the Royal Rumble, and then straight after you can have like the WWE title match. It's like, I'm not sure I want to script it too much.
Although one positive from the fixtures here is at least the times don't seem to get changed as much. You can rely on it once you've seen it. It's not going to be moved because of the police or something to an early kickoff.
Yeah, and also all games are on TV anyway, or at least they're on like live streamed on Naver and stuff like that. So it's not like suddenly you got Degi versus John Buck and it's been moved for a Friday night. It's already a Friday night because it's on TV anyway. So yeah, that is a good point. All right, well, one thing I wanted to touch on about pre-season as well was new kits. We've got some new kits slowly being released. It was a bit of a slow start, but we've got a few now. Do you buy kits?
I tend to buy one every couple of years from Barnsley, and part of it is just to put some money into the club, to be honest with you. I did buy one this year, and I bought one for my girlfriend with a name on the back. I don't know if she was too keen.
Isn't her?
That's the only matching clothes we've got, the Korean matching couple fashion.
Yeah.
But since moving to Korea, I've bought more kits just because I want the memories. I bought, what did I buy last season? The Gwangju 10-year anniversary kit. I bought the Busan iPad kit, obviously living there before. And this year, I fancy the new Daegu home kit, which looks really nice.
No, that is nice, yeah. The one last year was good as well, but this one I think is probably the best that they've ever had. Muyol might disagree with that. I think he preferred the 10-year anniversary kit, he said on Twitter recently, but yeah, that is a nice kit. I like to buy kits of all kinds of different teams. I know it might be a bit strange for people to think, why you're buying a kit for a team that you don't support, but as long as we're not in the same division as a team that I support, then I wouldn't do that. Yeah. But I got a Suwon FC shirt from about 4 years ago because it was 10,000 won, so it's about £8. Something. So I was like, right, great, I'll have that. I bought a Jeju United shirt. You remember that one? It was like a flowery piece.
Oh yeah,
like 2017. I love that shirt, and I found it online for really cheap, so I just bought it just to wear around the house. In terms of Dejan shirts, it would depend on the quality. So I'm not sure if you know what I mean, but like there's those kits that you get where there's no like sewn on badge or the sponsor isn't like heat pressed on. It's just like as part of the fabric.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like those kits because they just look and
looks
feel.
Like a training top.
It does. And also it feels like it's fake. Like, when you used to go to Spain when you were a kid and you just find those like €5 or whatever it was for like a Real Madrid shirt that was clearly fake. It just feels like that. And you just think, why am I paying like £80 or whatever it is? Well, £45, £50, about 80,000 Korean won on average for a shirt. And it probably cost them about £5 to make. I don't know. So I skipped a few for Dejan, but I got both home and away last year because it was really good, especially the away one. Now I kind of regret not buying them. I should have bought one for every season that I've been supporting the club. So I'm going to try and fill in the gaps. One
thing about that Busan iPad kit that I mentioned, it's just the comfiest kit I've ever worn. It's ridiculous. You could use it as pajamas. Whereas the Gwangju kit, it just kind of hangs wrong and it feels not as substantial. The Busan one's got a bit of a collar. You feel like it feels like you've got some money's worth from your purchase. It feels substantial.
Well, speaking of getting your money's worth, where do you stand on, not just in K-League but anywhere, teams releasing a new kit or new kits home and away every season?
I think for the home shirt you could do with a 2-yearly one. But I love a new different away shirt every year. Just gives an extra bit of excitement. And they usually for Barnsley anyway, release the away shirt on the open day. That's something that I don't know if they do that in the K-League, make it a bit more marketable. And I'm sure that boosts the sales.
That'd be good. What I like that FC Seoul do is they release a new kit. Well, to explain, they have their home kit and away kit for 2 years, but they overlap. So every year there's a new kit, but they keep both kits for 2 years, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So like their home shirt from last season, they'll use this season, but because their away shirt they started using in 2019, they'll be releasing a new away shirt this year. So there is a new kit every year, but fans, if they buy one of them, they'll be able to use it for 2 years, or it will be the current shirt for 2 years. So I like that. I've never seen that before, and it is I think a very good idea. But what about names on the back of shirts?
Not for me.
No,
staunchly against it.
Really?
For me, unless it's like a club legend like Yoram, obviously, his popularity is never going to fade at Gwangju, so you're never going to regret it.
He may be named after one season, but he's a man for all 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yoram is quite an interesting name, isn't it? It's like obviously having just 2 syllables in your name is not that rare, but quite rare. But Yodam in Korean means summer, so great name for him. I don't know, names on the back of shirts. I'm not one to do it too often, but I got Eong-yi on the back of my Dejan shirt last year because he was playing for them in the first season that I started supporting them. He left and went to FC Seoul and then to Sangju and stuff like that, but then came back. And it was kind of funny because David Nugent signed for North End last year as well. Well, yeah, 2019. And it was like two players coming back to the clubs that I support and gave me sort of nostalgic memories. So, when Nugent was at North End, it was like 2004 to 2006, I think. And it was like that, that's quite a while ago. I was like 19, 20, so like nostalgic memories. And then, so last year, I got his name on the back of last season's North End shirt. And also, he's older than me.
I took a photo of you wearing that shirt at the John Book game.
You did. That's right, yeah. And also, he's older than me, so that's allowed.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll get Dejan shirts, that's fine.
I can wear Dejan's shirt because he's older than me. But then with Eong-yi, I am older than Eong-yi, but like I said, it was like when I first came to Korea, I've been in Korea for like a few months, and then the K-League season started, and he was one of our better players. Like if I buy a random shirt, like I've got the Juve shirt with Ronaldo on the back, I do that because sometimes it costs just the same to get the shirts with either no name on the back or with names on the back. So I think there are some rules or some unwritten laws of getting players named on the back. I think if in England, I don't think I would do it and then wear the shirt to the matches if I had a name on the back. If I'm a 35-year-old man like I am, I don't know if I could do that.
That is definitely an unwritten rule, and I don't know if that exists in Korea. That kind of thing.
I don't think it does.
Like the shame element of being a fully grown adult and you're wearing the number 9 on the back.
With the patches on as well.
Especially when, if say you're a Pohang fan and you've got Ilyachenko on the back, and then he's playing for John Book, you just look like an idiot.
You're gutted, yeah.
I've seen that far too many times at Barnsley, where our best players gone to our biggest rivals.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Like sporting teams like North End and Barnsley, chances are, if it's a good player, they're going to leave soon anyway. So I think the safest bet is just to get one of the new shirts, but with a legend. So, like for example, you get a North End shirt with Tom Finney on the back. That you could get away with that.
The good thing with that Busan shirt I bought was I opted for no markings when I bought it, and I thought that just meant no player name or no number, and then it turned up with no sponsor on it. Now that it was like fantastic.
That is a good point actually, because it was the same. It must be an Adidas thing, because it was the same when Suwon Blue Wings had their kits made by Adidas.
Right.
And a friend of the podcast and the site, Kim Ho-soo, he was explaining to me that you have to pay extra to get the sponsors on. I was like, that. So they are charging you for advertising.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. All in all, if you want to get a Suwon shirt with the sponsor on, with a name on the back and the K-League badge on the side, you're like 130,000 Korean won, which is like, what's that, about 80 quid or something? That is absolutely obscene. And then, right, if you are one of these people who likes to have the shirt with no sponsor, fine. But I just think it looks a bit too plain. It looks like a training kit.
For me, I was just going for the Yorkshireman angle, the value. I can wear the same kit year on year and no one will realise. And it's also Barnsley red, so I can wear it back in England and rep the K-League a bit. Yeah.
Well, that's true. Like every K-League away kit is white. So, if I could go to a North End game, if I ever get a chance to go back to the UK ever, then, but I'm not, I don't know. I think I feel a little bit too, like I'm trying too hard. If I was to go to a North End game and wear a Korean shirt, it's like you're trying to be a hipster, or you're trying to be like, you know what I mean? Trying too hard. Fair enough. Well, is there anything else about the pre-season that you want to talk about, or anything else that maybe that we've missed? A big aspect of pre-season?
For me, my favourite part of pre-season is going to the minnow teams as a big club, Barnsley, having those days out at small grounds, and it's usually a good atmosphere. You can get closer to the players, but it doesn't seem to be a thing here. People don't seem to attend the pre-season games against the university sides. Obviously, they can't in COVID times, but even before that, have you ever noticed? Say Seoul were playing away at Seoul University. Have you ever noticed any boost in attendance, or is it just all, oh yeah, there's the score on Instagram, it happened?
Right, I think that's it. They don't really get treated as a game, they get treated as like a practice match. So the teams are not even wearing the kit; they're wearing like a training kit with like a bib on with their number on. Yeah, in the times of COVID-19, you can't. But I would love for us to be able to go and watch those games. Like you said, like again, comparing it to England, but North End every summer we would play Bamber Bridge and Chorley as well in the friendlies away. And it was great going to those grounds. Then the season's nearly starting because I can finally go to a game. You get to see some of the new players and you get to see them up really close as well because obviously you're at a small ground. And yeah, I enjoy that. I don't know why they don't do it here. Maybe it's because they're in a training camp, usually on the south coast somewhere, so they're not in their home city and stuff. But still, fans can be really dedicated and we'll probably go down there. You go down for a weekend on the south coast, catch John Buck playing against a university team or whatnot. I think it would be good.
I went to Busan Transport against Busan iPark pre-season game back in 2015, and it was on a random pitch in the middle of the outskirts of Busan, and we were the only fans there. We were the only people who weren't a playing squad or staff, and we were just stood on the touchline next to the dugouts and looking at us like, who are these randomers? And that was for a K-League One side as well. So.
That is. I would love to be able to do that. And we, Matthew Binns and Ryan Walters and I, we talked about friendlies. If you want to go back and find that episode of this pre-season podcast, then you can. But I think that will be it from us for today, Pete. So thank you everybody for tuning in. If you are watching on Patreon, then hello. If you're not, then you can sign up for the Patreon, and we have tiers from $1 and $3. $3 you get a lot of the audio stuff and the articles and stuff like that. $5 you'll be able to get more videos. So any player interviews that we do, there'll be a full video version of that for $5 tier Patreons. But from me, Paul, Neat and Peter Hampshire, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. 黄金北極金新